Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS, and Washington Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. This is one of those stories that just keeps heating up in the NFL rumor mill, and for good reason. The Washington Commanders, a team that has been looking to solidify their defensive front and push for a playoff run, are now reportedly in the mix for one of the most disruptive defensive tackles in the league. That's right, we're talking about Quinnen Williams, the all-pro interior defender from the New York Jets. The buzz is intense, and if the rumors are true, this could be a game-changing move for the Commanders. So let's break down all the angles, what this trade could mean, and why it's creating such a stir across the NFL landscape. First, let's take a moment to understand exactly who Quinnen Williams is. At just 27 years old, Williams has established himself as one of the most disruptive forces on the interior line in recent years. His skill set is reminiscent of some of the elite players at his position, like Aaron Donald at his peak, relentless pressure, exceptional run-stopping ability, and a knack for making plays that matter. Over the 2025 season, Williams played 8 games, recording 42 tackles, 6.5 sacks, 8 tackles for loss, and earning an impressive PFF grade of 89. 4. That's not just good, that's elite. His EPA per run of -0. 32 and the 28 pressures along with 12 QB hits show how consistently he can cause chaos in the backfield. What's remarkable is that he's been completely healthy through these games, no injuries to derail his dominant streak, which only adds to his value. Now, why is this such a big deal? Well, for starters, Williams is not just a run stopper. He's a pass rush threat that opposing quarterbacks have to account for on every play. His career stats, over 35 sacks and a PFF grade of 88. 7. Speak volumes about his consistency and impact. His win rate in pass rushing situations, hovering around 32%, is among the best in the league, and that's an indicator of how often he can get past blockers and pressure the quarterback. His double-team rate is usually in the minimum, and his hurry rate of 18% shows he's constantly in the face of the QB, disrupting timing and pocket presence. And let's not forget, he's doing all this without major injuries, which is a rare commodity in such a physically demanding position. Now, looking at the Jets' perspective, there's a lot of skepticism about parting ways with Williams. They are balancing cap considerations. They have around $6 million in cap space, and trying to fit their roster around young, cost-effective players. The Jets' defense has been pretty solid with an 82. 3 PFF grade, and they've been accumulating assets for a future quarterback after the Aaron Rodgers saga. Trading Williams for a second-round pick in 2026 makes sense from an asset management standpoint, but it's also a risk, especially given how much the Jets could lose in terms of interior disruption. Their defense, which relies heavily on pressure and run stopping from Williams, could take a hit, losing around 20% of EPA in the interior. That's significant, and it raises questions about whether they're sacrificing too much for future picks, especially since a lot of their success hinges on their ability to generate pressure up front. On the other side, the Washington Commanders are looking at this potential trade with a different set of eyes. They've been battling injuries along their defensive line, particularly with Newton and Armstrong sidelined due to ankle and shoulder injuries, respectively. These absences have created a huge gap in their run defense, allowing opponents to average about 4 or 5 yards per carry, a number that's clearly not acceptable if they want to climb the standings and push for a playoff spot. Adding a player like Williams could be the perfect remedy, transforming their front seven into a true fortress. His presence would elevate the entire defensive front, boosting their run-stop efficiency and providing a relentless pass rush that could alleviate pressure on their secondary. And let's talk about what this could mean in terms of on-field impact. Analysts are projecting Williams to produce around 12 sacks this season if he joins the Commanders, along with over 15 tackles for loss. His addition would turn the defensive line into a wall, similar to what the Eagles did in 2022 when they became one of the league's most dominant units. Imagine a front that can cut down opposing rush yards by about 60 yards per game, forcing teams to become one-dimensional and easier to contain. This kind of upgrade could push the Commanders from a middling defense to one of the elite units in the league, especially considering the current struggles of their interior defensive linemen like Newton and Armstrong. From a statistical perspective, adding Williams would significantly improve the Commanders' defensive metrics. Their points allowed per game could drop by around 6 points, and their overall points per game could jump from the current 10-7 range to a more formidable number. With the kind of pressure Williams generates, quarterbacks would be forced to make quicker decisions, increasing their turnovers and decreasing their overall efficiency. This is exactly the kind of impact that can swing close games and tilt the playoff odds in Washington's favor. Speaking of playoff odds, this move could be a real game changer. If Williams joins the Commanders, it's projected that their Super Bowl odds could improve dramatically, from around +12.0 to +5.500. While still long shots, that's a meaningful shift, especially because his presence would make the Commanders more dangerous against ground-based teams and improve their run defense in the playoffs. Teams like the Eagles or Cowboys, who rely heavily on their rushing attacks, could find it much harder to exploit Washington's front if Williams is anchoring the middle. Now, if we draw comparisons, Williams' impact is similar to what Aaron Donald brought to the Rams during their Super Bowl run. His ability to collapse the pocket and stuff the run simultaneously makes him a true X-factor on defense. The Commanders are clearly betting on his talent to forge a dominant defensive front that can carry them deep into postseason contention. And let's not forget, the NFL is a league where a single player's impact can turn a team's fortune around, and Williams' track record suggests he has the potential to be that kind of difference maker. Looking ahead, the strategic fit makes sense for Washington. With their current roster, especially after injuries to Newton and Armstrong, they need that disruptive presence up front to elevate their entire defense. The addition of Williams would not only improve their immediate performance, but also send a message to the rest of the league that the Commanders are serious about competing at the highest level. It's a bold move, no doubt, but if they pull it off, it could be the move that defines their season. Meanwhile, the Jets are weighing their options, trying to balance their cap space, their desire for future assets, and their current defensive strength. They might be hesitant to part ways with Williams because losing him could weaken their front, but acquiring a second-round pick in 2026 is a tempting proposition given their current rebuild mode. The question is whether they're willing to give up a player of Williams' caliber for that future investment, especially with their defense still performing well overall. So, as we watch this story unfold in the coming days, the implications are huge. If the trade happens, it's a massive boost for Washington's defense and might even reshape the NFC East landscape. The Commanders could suddenly become one of the most feared defenses in the league, especially if Williams lives up to the hype and exceeds expectations. It's a move that could propel them from a team trying to break through to a true playoff contender, perhaps even more if they can harness his talent effectively. And now, Washington Commanders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential blockbuster trade? Do you think Williams is the missing piece that can push this team into the postseason? Or do you believe the Jets are making the right call by holding on? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the future of this team. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, insights, and breaking news, so stay tuned for the latest Washington Commanders news. Thanks for being with us, and let's keep this passion alive.